Tony Tone Show, Vintage Sound 93.1 FM. Saturday night, 7 o'clock Central, HBO, the 2017 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. You can watch that. And on the Mocklink TV and Internet Celebrity Hotline, the CEO of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's Greg Harris.
Hey, Tony, good morning.
Thank you so much for taking the time. You're on the radio in the great state of Iowa. And, Greg, I have to say, I cannot wait to watch the 2017 class go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Saturday night, 7 o'clock Central for us on HBO. This class, Greg, I mean, I don't want to say it's one of the best, but it certainly seems like people that tune in on Saturday, they're going to enjoy it, aren't they?
Oh, it's going to be terrific. I was lucky enough to have attended the ceremony a couple weeks ago, and all of it gets taped and edited for broadcast this Saturday night, 7 o'clock Central on HBO. In the class, Journey, Yes, E.L.O, Joan Baez, Tupac, Nile Rodgers, and Pearl Jam. It's a phenomenal show. Really excited to see it. And it's one of those things where when you're at the arena, it just felt like such powerful energy in the room. In fact, I've been to 8 or 9 inductions, and they're all great for different reasons. This had to be, in my mind, the most exciting and the most hard driving at times. I'm excited to see what the editors do to make it even more engaging, because suddenly on TV you get the close-ups. You get those camera shots, you get the audience views, and it's really going to be a blast.
Well, I tell you what, I've had the pleasure of speaking to Neal Schon over the years on the radio, and what he said about reconnecting with Steve Perry, I mean, that's what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does, Greg, as you know. It brought back together. I mean, they hadn't seen each other for like 10 or 12 years, and there they are face to face, and they had a great moment together. So that's what makes me such a fan of what you get to do, because we didn't know what was going to happen, and then a great moment comes out of it. So how did that make you feel, kind of hearing about the aftermath of that encounter with those two?
Yeah, those are magic moments. We had Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney on stage a couple years ago playing on the same stage they played at in their first U.S. tour together. Those things happen. These bands that are together and then they split apart for some reason, invariably they come back together for this singular honor of being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And, I get it. There's frequently history. Sometimes it has to do with personalities. Sometimes it's business. But it's a chance to set all that aside, come together and reconnect. And, even this year, Yes, all of the surviving members of Yes got together and performed together. Just terrific. And that's part of the magic of this moment. This isn't just an award for having a hit song that year. This isn't just an award for having something on a soundtrack. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award that is induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
There's a moment when, and I'm sure it was stressful, when all of a sudden Neil Young, who's scheduled to introduce Pearl Jam, can't make it. But then David Letterman pinch hits. So walk us through that, because that's like, that's one heck of a guy to go to the bullpen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unbelievable.
It is, and considering, he's been a little out of the limelight, I'll encourage folks to check it out. I don't know if it made it to YouTube from some little secretive cell phones in the audience, but he did a heck of a job, and he shared a real personal story, a lot of jokes and anecdotes about Pearl Jam, but then a real personal story about Eddie Vedder really being warm to Letterman and Letterman's son, that brought it all back, that within all of this, even somebody as celebrated as David Letterman, we're all fans, and we're all excited when our kids can be part of what we do, and it really comes home. So, that's part of putting this whole show together. Joel Parisman, who's been producing it for a number of years as the president of our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation, working with the HBO crew, just does an incredible job, and we're really thrilled. Next year, some of the bands that are eligible, that's pretty exciting. Radiohead, Rage Against the Machine, No Doubt, and they join bands like Steppenwolf and the Zombies and Nine Inch Nails and the Cars and the Doobie Brothers that are all eligible. it could be an incredible class next year.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Yeah, I talked to, and I don't know if he's still involved, but Stephen Van Zant's kind of a friend of the show, and he's been lobbying, I think.
Stephen is on our nominating committee.
Okay.
And as any fan of underground radio knows, or little Stephen, he does know his stuff. He is a passionate advocate for many of these bands, and is a great part of our family and a Hall of Fame inductee himself.
I think if he had it his way, Greg, the Zombies would be in next year for sure. He loves those guys, doesn't he? Oh, my goodness.
With good reason, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's a band that's weathered some severe storms. I don't want to dwell on something that happened last year, but since I'm talking to you, I want to ask, Steve Miller kind of had a little bit of turbulence, I guess, when he was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I wonder if there was any validity in his concerns, and if you guys approach each year, do you learn things from the previous years, or was he just mad for the sake of being mad?
One of the great outcomes of all of that was he was touring through Cleveland about a month and a half after the induction, and he came over and visited the museum. And we took him around and shared with him the breadth of our education program. He got to meet with some students that were here. He did an informal master class with them. He went behind the scenes, and he really got a great understanding of what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum is all about, and has become a stronger advocate for the museum and what we do out here. So, whenever those emotions and other things pop up, when you get a chance to really share the museum and what we do, all of the artists and the inductees are on board, and he really likes what we do out here for students, likes what we do for the public, and it was a great visit.
Well, and it's so true. Music education locally in the Quad Cities, we have this place called the River Music Experience that is carrying on that same mission that you guys do with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is just trying to keep music in schools. And Greg, isn't it? It's just maddening when you hear schools across the country and they cut music, and it's just, I don't get it. But I understand that that's something that you guys are working for, championing the music every day, right? I mean,
we do. We do it with great ways, like a huge regional high school battle of the bands, but also we do equipment drives at the museum where people can donate musical equipment. We work with a partner called Hungry for Music, and they then refurbish everything and they make it available to all the local schools. Art is critical for life, and rock and roll we feel is a vital art form. The other thing we do with education at the museum is we teach things like math, science, social studies through the prism of rock and roll. And we have those materials available for teachers at rockhall.com to use. It's really an exciting way of looking at history. And, you can't study civil rights without looking at rock and roll and looking at artists from that era. It's really, and we can say that for every era of our history.
Well, I tell you what, you're a busy man. Greg Harris, CEO, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Saturday night on HBO, it's the 2017 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, 7 o'clock Central for us, with Journey and E.L.O. and Joan Baez and Pearl Jam and Yes and Nile Rodgers and Tupac going in. Greg, I can't wait to see it on Saturday. I really appreciate the time. Continued success to you, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate the coverage, and have a wonderful day. And come on out and visit us in Cleveland sometime.
Absolutely, will do, man. Thank you so much.
Bye now.